How long did he actually get? 2 years.
So is it the same link?
Yeah.
Can you share the link up? Any your link? I don't know. No, it's here. It is here. What time is it now? Yes.
My father.
Hi. How are you? Can we take the four positions, please? We unmuted it. We unmute. We don't mute. So, Right, so I'm going to start the launchpad is host CPRL. My name is Carol Dosis. I am Chevening alumni in 2018, but I'm also the co-founder and co-director of the Launchpad, and I'm here with my co-founder and co-director, Mr. Henry Goliath, who will introduce himself later. But I'm also here with Mr. Mark Ty, who is the head of political and public affairs. But also, No?
I know.
And then niko na Chevening alumni mwenzangu, lakini kuna wengine wawili ambao sorry for code switching, I'll be doing this a lot, so I hope it won't be a problem. But karibuni sana. So the reason why we decided to do this was each and every one of us kwenye alumni ya 2018 alikuwa anapokea maombi kwamba tunaomba nisaidie application imetoka, naomba msaada, naomba ushauri, hii application nifanyeje, naijibuje, how do I write a successful Chevening application. So I didn't have the answer to that, but I had my own experience. Sammy didn't have the answer to that, but he had his own experience. So we thought, okay, so why not gather you all in one room, tujadili maswali yenu yote kwa pamoja kama inawezekana. Na kama hatuna majibu, basi kuna watu kutoka ubalozini ambao tuko nao ambao watasaidia katika kujibu hayo maswali mengine. So without further ado, I'll welcome now Mr. Mark to give just a short welcome remarks, and we'll take it from there. Please stand here, yeah, because of the live stream, so that people can actually see you. Yeah.
I don't know, I'm really firstly, can I just say thank you to Carol, thank you to the Launchpad, thank you to the speakers for hosting this. It's really great to see people who have benefited actually from Chevening, trying to help other people, and that's a big thing about what Chevening is. As Carol said, I work at the British High Commission. I'm the head of our political, press and public affairs team. And the bit that you're most interested in today is the public affairs bit, which means one of my roles is to look after our Chevening programme. And I'll introduce very quickly Lois at the back. She's one of my colleagues who also does a lot of the work on our Chevening programme. This year is going to be the 4th year that I've been doing Chevening. So I've got lots of experience that I want to share with you. But one of the really good things about Tanzania at the moment is 4 years ago, we only had 5 Chevening scholars go to London. This year, last month, we had 18. So every year we've been increasing, and I hope that our next batch will increase anymore. And that stems from the fact that people come to sessions like this, listen to former Chevening scholars, and actually really work on their applications. I'm not going to go into what Chevening is. I don't think I need to sell Chevening to you. If you're not convinced about Chevening, it's a whole fully paid year in the UK to study whichever course that you want to do. I think that's a pretty special opportunity to really grab hold of if you can. But I know it's really daunting at first. I bet some of you are all looking at different courses, you're looking at different universities, you're looking at different scholarship programs, there is 100 forms to fill in, there's lots of questions to be answered. So I want to give you basically 4 bits of advice. Okay? I'll go through each a little bit. So my first bit of advice, use the website. Chevening has a really good website, and it has thousands of questions and answers and Chevening experiences. It tells you how to complete the application form. It tells you what makes a good application form. Go to there first. 90% of the questions that I get asked and that Lois gets asked, and I'm sure Sammy and Carol get asked, are on that website. So use time reading it. The second of advice is there's no shortcut. There's no being best friends with somebody in the High Commission and thinking that will get you further. There's no sharing of numbers or business cards that will jump you the queue. When you write your application forms, they get assessed independent assessor in the UK. So we don't even see them until quite far down the process. Okay? So you put time and effort in. Third bit, spend time on your application. Don't rush it. Don't try and do it all in one afternoon on deadline day. Okay? Take some time. Think about why you want to do a Chevening scholarship. Think about some of the answers to what a leader is. Think about what Chevening is. Okay? Put it this way. Achieving scholarship is an investment into you of about 100 million shillings. That's a lot of money. So give that money the due consideration and actually spend time on your application. So a few ways to do that. Don't fill it in straight in the application form. Set up a Word document on your computer. Write out the questions, think about the answers, write the answers. Get a friend to read the answers for you. Read them out loud to yourself. You'll be amazed how often I will get an application and there's a spelling mistake. It's 2019, we all have Microsoft Word, you all have computers, you can do a spell check, check the grammar, make sure it makes sense. Remember, for someone like me, I'm going to read about 100 applications a day. Okay? That's a lot of applications. Make sure that what you're writing is very clear, very concise. Everything that you've learned at university, everything that you've learned in your jobs, think about what your message is, and then start to write it out, think about it. And then once it's done, leave it for a day or two, go back to your day-to-day world, and then come back to it and have another look and think, did that make sense? And then the fourth piece, really think about why you want to do a master's course. Okay? All of you will probably say it'll be great for my career. I think the same for everybody. It'd be great for my career to go and do a master's course in the UK. It needs to be more than that. Okay? Think about your experience and think about where you want to get to in life and what your ambition is. And be ambitious. I've never, ever knocked back an application because the person is too ambitious. But what you need your experience, you need where your destination is, and then we need to see a link for why your course will get you to that destination. So if you're a teacher in a school, okay, and you're telling me, I want to go do a master's in the UK so I can come back and be a better teacher. Well, you don't need a really good master's qualification in the UK to do that. But say you're a teacher and you say, I want to go and study in the UK so I can improve the curriculum of Tanzania. You may not get that point. You may get to just improving the curriculum within your school or the quality of teaching in your school. But that's some ambition. And then I can see a very direct link there between your experience and where you want to go to. Okay? So don't fear being ambitious, but just try and make that ambition linked to what your experience is and the chance of you doing a course. They're my four bits of advice. I'm sure that many of you are going to have questions, so I'm going to leave some time for you all to ask some. But just one of the biggest difficulties I find with many of applicants is they haven't really thought about it. They just thought, oh, going to the UK would be really good. Going to the UK is really good, but that doesn't make you a Chevening scholar. It needs to be a bit more than that. It needs to be thinking, why do I want to do this? Why now? Why this course? Why this university? When you start going into that and thinking, then your application form will almost instantly be better. Okay? There's lots of very talented people here. I'm sure you'll all be very capable and do really well in the master's program. But you need to keep making sure, why you and not you? What makes you a bit different? Okay? We'll stop there. I'm a man of questions.
Thank you, Mark. So I hope the rest are going to show up. This is like one thing that I think as Tanzanians we need to learn, because a lot of people book for the ticket or they want to pull out, yeah, and they're not here. And some of them were texting like, because you have a battery, I don't think I have to probably know what you book the ticket. So I hope you don't do that for us, okay? Because
I think we need to address it.
yes,
But what happened was it sold out in literally 10 minutes.
yes,
And there was about 150 people who came,
400.
400 who came out saying, oh, can I? And we they got turned down. And we're talking to, we're preaching to the converted, because you guys are here, he's been. I've also happened, we need to find a way to manage this, because it really is the most frustrating thing. There was 400 people sitting there really gutted that they didn't make the front of the queue, and 20 haven't shown up. So if you have things, it's probably
Blacklist.
I would anything else, right? I would make it. But we're talking to them guys.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what matters. Well done, you.
So, thank you, Mark. So now I welcome Sammy. He'll introduce himself and the course that he was taking and a testimonial on how he wrote his Chevening application.
Tunashukuru Kiswahili.
Of course.
Kiswahili. Habari za mchana, jioni. Hongera kwa kuja. Kama wanavyosema wengine, ile kufika kwenye inaonyesha jinsi gani ambavyo na nia na nataka kweli kupata. So, congratulations for coming. The step ya kwanza kwamba you actually take this thing seriously. Ndio. Mark amesema mimi jina langu naitwa Sami Awani. Mimi ni mwandishi wa habari, nafanya kazi na BBC. Na nimerudi tarehe 1 mwezi wa 10 ndio nimerudi kutoka Uingereza ambapo nilikuwa nafanya masters yangu ya PhD. Mark amesema vitu vingi ambavyo mimi ningeweza kusema which is great, lakini cheki ya kwanza kabisa ambayo nimekagua kwamba start early, yani as soon as possible. Niliposti kwenye mitandao yangu kwamba nitaanza kusaidia watu wa 2021 2022. Kuna wengine wakasema umekosea tarehe, nilikutaka 2020. Nikasema no, kwa sababu naelewa ukianza haraka kama unasema ukajaza fomu zako zote kwa siku moja, huwezi kuandika essay vizuri. Kwa hiyo kitu kizuri ni kuanza Kwa nini nasema? Kwa sababu pia utapata nafasi ya kujiandaa. Ukikosea unaweza kurudia tena na kuendelea mbele. I'll give you an example. Mimi mtihani wangu wa TOEFL nimefanya mara 3. Umeelewa? Na sio kama unaweza kufanya kila wiki. Matokeo yanatoka baada ya miezi 2, sijui ilikuwa si baada ya miezi 3. Kwa hiyo karibu ndani ya miezi 6 au miezi 7 najaribu kufanya mtihani wangu wa TOEFL kupata marks ambazo natakiwa kuwa nazo. There's no shame kwamba Kiingereza chako sio kizuri wala English is our second language. It's okay not to be perfect when you sawa. Kwa hivyo ukianza mapema unakuwa muda. Nakumbuka Lois pia kunasaidiana sana. Nilipanic kwa sababu nilipata marks za kutosha Chevening, lakini sikupata marks za kutosha chuoni. Kwa hiyo nikawa na scholarship lakini sina. Kwa mwaka wa kwanza ukanipita. Nikakosa, nikapata scholarship lakini nikakosa chuo. Mwaka wa pili nikajaribu tena. Lakini kama ningekuwa nimeanza mapema 2 to 3 years, nilikuwa nimefanya practice nzuri ya Kiingereza. Umeelewa? Ukafanya mazoezi ukafundishwa labda kama unataka ku practice for the exam. Ili kwamba unapofanya ule mtihani, kwa sababu kuna mitihani ya qualification. Kwa kama Chevening nadhani wanataka 70 ni 75, ni 71, ni 70 na wakati vio vingine vinataka mpaka 90 au 100. Ona. So if you start early, then you have enough time to practice. Kama unahitaji mtu kukusaidia Kiingereza, ukafanya mtihani wako, lakini kama unahitaji research pia unakuwa na muda wa kutosha. Ukakosa mtihani wako kama unafanya TOEFL au IELTS, ukakosa mara ya kwanza, una muda wa kutosha kurudia mara ya pili, mara ya tatu, as much as you can. Umeelewa? Kwa hivyo start early. Ukianza mapema pia itakupa nafasi ya wewe ku research universities. Well, research universities. UK haina Oxford na Cambridge. University of Edinburgh. Mimi nilipoapply mara ya kwanza. Niliapply Oxford, nikapply Cambridge, nikapply Sydney. Nikakosa zote. Unaelewa? But then I tried again, and then the next year, so I had a whole year to prepare. I researched what are the best schools for. I studied a master's in public policy. So what are the best colleges and universities for public policies? What are their requirements? What are the marks for English language? You know, there are universities that don't even require English tests. They say if you can prove that you've been using English for a long time, maybe through your work or other ways, they can accept that as a proof that you can actually study in English. So start early. researching causes, modules, kwa sababu ni kazi zile mtu labda anataka public policy tu, lakini aina gani ya public policy. For instance, when I went to my college, UCL, I found there's another public policy, it's called international public policy, which was actually maybe more relevant to me than the one that I did. Because they're actually having not just the masters in public policy that I did was very much, Eurocentric or most of the stuff I studied were mainly based on America and all this kind of thing. So I had to work extra hard to relate whatever theories I was going to apply to my African context. Whereas my colleagues who had maybe researched better, they studied international public policy, and it was much wider, not just centered into Europe or America. So that's another advantage of studying. Unaelewa, lakini pia unaweza kupata nafasi ya kushare your essay kama unasema. You can even do one essay per week. Just take it slowly, it takes time. Alafu kama mtu mwingine atakusaidia. Also, the other point I said earlier, be realistic about your selection at UK universities. If you're voting vizuri, kwa mfano nilisikia mtu mwingine aliniambia masters in public policy for instance. Mfano wangu kama ningekwenda SOAS kwa sababu the School of Oriental and African Studies, most of their professors have much more experience, for instance, in Africa, so they speak to you according to your relevance. And some of the universities, maybe you didn't hear about, maybe you haven't heard about them, but maybe they are great in certain, field. Kuna chuo ni kizuri labda kwa engineering, chuo ambacho ni kizuri labda kwa arts, kuna chuo ambacho kizuri labda cha mass communication. Kwa hivyo anza kutafuta hivi view research, na sehemu ziko nyingi. Kwa mfano kama kuna ile Guardian list of universities, the Times list of universities, mara nyingi wanaorodhesha pale vitu gani kwa wakati. Kwa hivyo unaweza kuanza mapema kujiandaa kwa hizo vitu, kaangalia hata requirements zao na vitu gani ambavyo hasa wanahitaji. Kwenye swala la essays, nilikuwa naongea na Mark hapa, naeleza sasa hivi nilitoa email kwa watu ambao wanaweza kutumia ambao wanahitaji msaada wa Chevening. Nikatumia form kutaka kuwauliza experience yao, who they are, labda experience yao wamefanya nini na vitu ambavyo wanahitaji. Majibu niliyopata very interesting, kwa sababu unakutana na mtu unaona kabisa huyu ana potential, lakini hajui tu namna ya kueleza ile potential yake kwenye nini. Na huu ndio uzuri wa kuanza mapema. Kwa mfano, kuna mtu katika form ile ambayo nilikuwa nayo. Have it here. I want to show them they niliuliza leadership skills, experience, universities na scholarship ambazo wameapply na kitu kama hivyo. Kwa mfano, sasa hivi leadership ninauliza watu waniambie leadership experience yao. Mtu mmoja akaniambia nilikuwa class monitor. Mwingine akasema kwamba yeye alikuwa ni group assignment leader shule. Nafahamu ile group ya assignment ya darasa. It's good. It's also ni leadership experiences. Lakini imagine wewe unaitoa leadership experience ya class monitor au group assignment monitor. Na then mtu mwingine anakuja labda ana experience labda ya kusaidia extend labda farmers kule au labda improve mazao, na mwingine labda ni implementer, labda ameanzisha project ambayo actually changes people's lives. Nadhani nani atakuwa na application hizi? So share, jitahidi kutoa experience ambayo unajua kwamba ambayo we all have leadership experiences, but how do you put it, or what kind of leadership experience you want to share, ambayo hata yule anayesoma orodha hiyo ya hizo applications zako anaweza kuwa kupatiwa umeelewa. And then be as detailed as possible na kuweka kwenye give relevant examples. Kwa mfano kama mimi kwa mfano katika swali ambalo niliuliza kuhusiana na networking, nakumbuka nilimpa mtu mmoja asome application yangu kunisaidia, akaniambia hata sielewi ulichosema. Najua tu umeandika maneno makubwa mazuri hapa, lakini it doesn't show namna gani pale ambayo wewe mzuri katika masuala ya network. And then I gave a specific example ya namna ambavyo nilikutana na mtu katika ilikuwa ni cocktail party, we build that relationship pale. Mpaka leo hii tunakuja bado tunaendelea kufanya kazi pamoja. We work in projects ile ni daktari masuala ya cancer, ni mwandishi, we work on projects mbalimbali Tanzania. And yes, that's an experience model. Kwa hiyo nikatoka kwenye kutoa maneno makubwa na kueleza specific examples na namna gani ambavyo nikutana na mtu. Kuelezea hiyo na uzuri wangu katika masuala ya networking. So be as detailed as possible. Alafu kama huna experience, you still have time. Kama huna experience labda leadership, kwa sababu leadership experience sio lazima kuwa unasimama jukwani kwa mwanasiasa. No, huko tulipo katika ofisi zetu. Mimi ni mwandishi na interview watu nafanyaje narusha habari yangu, sio mwanasiasa. Lakini kupitia kazi yangu nimesaidia watu wengine, mentors au mentor watu wengine wanakuja ofisini, labda ni waandishi ambao ndio wanaanza tu, nawasaidia mpaka kufika mahali fulani. Vitu kama hivi hapo. So you don't have to be a politician, you know, kwa experience yako kwa hiyo. Lakini how do you tell that story? How do you tell that story kwa mtu ambaye? Kwa hiyo hivi ni vitu ambavyo ni muhimu kazi. Kwa cha kwanza, start your application as early as possible. Naweza kuweka email yangu hapa kama unaandika application yako, feel free to send to me. Kuna wenzetu pia ambao tuko nao kwenye Chevening, they are happy to you know kuangalia hizo applications there, and then they can advise how we can improve this application. And ukikosa, unajua kuna application last year I think walikuwa na watu kama 1000 na about 1500. Yeah, and then ni watu 13 tu ndio tukachapa. Unaona? And I'm sure there were so many other people who were, you know, just as good as we were. Lakini ndio hivyo. So ukikosa mwaka wa kwanza, you can try next year. Kuna rafiki yangu mmoja first year alikwenda mpaka kwenye interview. And then mwaka uliofuata hakuitwa hata kwenye interview. And he's pretty good. Leadership experience and vitu kama hivyo. So start early, you know, be as clear as possible, in as much details as an experience yako. And kama huna experience, you still have this year. I hope Chevening will still be around for
Come on, we keep it 35 years.
Yeah. So if you mix next year, hata mwaka unaofuata, cha msingi kama huna experience, hata kwa volunteer. I believe that's counted in that. Yes, I think we say that. Yeah. Start volunteering. Sio kwa sababu ya scholarship tu, kwa sababu volunteering is good. It's good for community. Mimi nimemaliza scholarship, ningeweza kusema I'm done. Nimemaliza na yangu sasa. But I still like to help others to part of it. So trust me, Chevening is great. Unajua, experience niliyoipata kule, it's a lifetime experience. Nilikuwa namwambia Mark connection ambayo nilipata. Darasani kwetu kulikuwa na Chevening kama 9. Na hawa kuna mmoja alikuwa ni personal assistant wa governor wa jimbo moja China. Another person anaitwa wawili anaitwa chief wachumi wakuu kwenye serikali zao. Kuna mtu mwingine alikuwa ni head wa masuala ya finance Ukraine. So all these people, so sometimes we go out, you know, brains, you network, you share experiences. Hata mkiwa darasani, unajua, mkutane na watu waliotoka bachelors wakaingia with people with so much experience. Na hao ni watu wa darasani. Lakini hata nje ya darasani pia kwa mfano nilipata internship kwa organization moja hapa London. Kuna organization. Fanya kazi pale, lakini fanya kazi internship bungeni pia. Everywhere you go, you introduce yourself as a Chevening scholar. You have something you can even offer from. Like everything in London, it's great. It's a city. Miss on a box. Yeah, so that's a really good, you know, scholarship. So work hard. You suggest take time, you know, seek help. Kosa mara kwanza, try again. Unaelewa? So yeah, I will summarize what I said earlier. Start early. Do research universities. Don't just go to Oxford and Cambridge and London School of Economics. Kuna vyuo vingi sana. Vingine kwenye experience yako. Try to be as clear and precise as possible. Tell the I don't know how you call it, assessors. Tell assessors why you're the right candidate. Kwa sababu kuna karibu zaidi ya 1,000. How is this master's going to help you when you come back? How is it going to change the way you do things? As quickly as possible. But also, share with us. We are more than happy to help improve your application. So I'll just write down the email. But
I need to go on these questions. I promise I will tell the questions.
Yeah.
Is it one question? No, it's not. I want
Again, how you can read my handwriting? Should I help?
Sally actually opened a dedicated email address just for this.
Yeah, so this is just for.
This is how committed we are. Might you see? This is how committed we are. This is.
So yeah, just send. It won't just me. We have other alumni probably well, they're happy to check your application. They can help. So feel free to contact me at Applicants. You did it. I'm more than happy to help. So what is the question? Because I have brought back.
Oh, if you had no, come on, I'm sorry, I'm busy.
Yes,
please. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
You have to have questions.
Thanks, Oscar. This is my 4th time applying.
Really?
Yeah. Last year, yeah. Last year, I first time. I'm excited, ready to be home, ready to do a healing. Okay. About experience and leadership from the class knowledge.
Yeah.
Maybe my essay, the first question. By the follow I thought my essays were perfect.
Yeah.
Last year. Yani, can you find more about this year classes? This is too much. Good thing I met a friend. I can look up with the children our last year. What did I go wrong? With the leadership experience, what are you going to get in the about the rules of leadership? Class monitor, and then tell a story a bit after the leader again.
Yeah.
Like Saivi and so is it, should I put it off or
I don't know. I think there's only 500 words.
Yes, that's the
I don't
challenge.
know how you can squeeze it all from class monitor to I don't know.
Right now I have 600, so I don't know.
Yeah. To be honest, of course, Mark and other people will contribute to this. I think you have to tell from class monitor to all the way to where you are right now. Performance stage nothing about national housing. Okay. Sawa. Na umekuwa ukifanya kazi insurance kama kwa miaka ngapi?
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years is enough. Sasa katika 5 years zote, hata nafasi hii ya 5 years ambayo imekuwa katika national housing. Uonyeshe jinsi gani ambavyo ulionyesha leadership. Hata kwa wafanyakazi wenzako. Maybe you are a team leader au labda namna yoyote ambayo within these 5 years ambayo you showed leadership on something labda kulikuwa kitu ambacho labda hakifanya kazi vizuri, ukatumia chini yako kuelekeza labda ukasuggest kitu and you let them mpaka ikatokea unajua mpaka solution ikapatikana. Unaweza kutumia hata within these 5 years katika work experience yako na ukaeleza story nzuri tu ya leadership. Ndio sio kwamba lazima uanzie kwenye class monitor hapo.
No, I think it's our leadership strategy foundation and shule kusoma sekondari. The way we volunteer
Yeah.
Mpaka sema like hiyo sekondari unaanzia from the alumni foundation lazima tuna rules kidogo kwenye hiyo sekondari uliosoma. That's more it also that for prefect anzia hapo kidogo. Kwa kusema it's like it's nothing.
No, it's not nothing. It's not nothing.
It's not nothing,
not
but it's
nothing.
not significant.
Yeah. No, ni kwa sababu kwamba kwa mfano kama wewe una I'll give an example. Wewe kwa mfano ukatoa well, this is something assessors will decide. Kwa mfano ukatoa experience yako ya class monitor primary school. Sawa? And then mtu mwingine akatoa mfano, kwa mfano wa namna gani ambavyo ana train local business people kusambaza dawa ambazo zina save lives. Umeelewa tofauti? Au labda ni mtu ambaye amebuni kitu ambacho kinatatua upimaji wa kansa kwa wanawake. Kwa hiyo wanagundua kansa mapema, labda inasaidia wana save uzazi na vitu kama hivyo. Umeelewa tofauti hiyo pale? Kwa hivyo ni namna gani ambapo unatumia experience yako ukikumbuka kwamba wengi hapa people ambao watakuwa na leadership experience ambayo it's saving lives au it's changing community. Lazima kwamba it's saving lives. It's changing community in a way ambayo ina impact. Kwa sababu kama wanaochukuliwa ni watu 15 au watu 20.
What if you save the lives of people?
There you go. Unaona vipi? Ni ile tu kwamba what do you want to tell the assessors, kuambia kwamba I'm the right candidate. Au labda kupitia hii masters inaweza kunisaidia, kuimprove maisha labda ya community au labda hata so sio kwamba kuna leadership experience ambayo is relevant au no. Leadership is leadership. It's how you tell it. Kukumbuka kwamba kutakuwa na watu wachache ambao wasichaguliwa. So if they put all of this together, yapo itakuwa. Kwa sababu inawezekana kuna watu 20 ambao wana experience nzuri, wana profile nzuri, lakini wanaotakiwa ni watu 10. Umeelewa? So you have to have that competition thing in mind. Au watu wengi. So umeweka the best things out as possible. Sindio? How about that? You want to say something, yeah?
Colin, mimi nahitaji kuongea Kiingereza. Otherwise we'll be here all day. So there is a little bit of an art to answering some of these questions. So you'll go and hold your ball for a second? Yes.
So let me get you,
That's okay.
That's my fault.
Can I just get one of those
Whiteboard mark.
So the way Chevening recommend that you answer these questions is through STAR. You all heard of STAR? Hands if you've heard of STAR. Okay. For those that haven't, basically situation, spelling out task, action, result. And what quite a lot of people do in their application forms is they focus on the situation an awful lot. So they spend 500 words. They spend 300 words focused on the situation. I was in this school and it had this many people, and so Tessa doesn't care about that. What they care about is what did you do? What was your piece? So you don't have to write 20 different examples in the 500 words. You can focus on one example or two examples, okay? And then focus on the bit that you actually were involved in. So if it is working in a school committee, for example, don't spend the whole, you can write about a school committee in 30 words, okay? 2 sentences maximum. Focus on what kind of questions they got asked in the school committee. What were you thinking about to make the decisions? What was like, every time you make a decision, you think about the options, what are the repercussions of those options? What's the effect? And then you work through this, it can be sometimes all in your head, or you can go through a process where you share, if you've got business partners, you would share ideas with each other and challenge each other. And that is some skills, leadership skills of okay, I have a problem. I've recognized what the options are. I've tried and tested some of those answers. So focus on these two bits. What did you have to do, and how did you do that? And that's one of the most difficult, challenging pieces about writing an answer. Because a lot of people think they want to say something really impressive. They want to say, I met the president and I told him this. That's not very impressive. What's impressive, and actually one of the best answers I've ever seen in any application form was actually about a new mother who was saying about how she manages her new child, going to work, she has to deal with her housekeeper, she has to deal with her in-laws, and the leadership she had to show to work out how it's all going to work, actually sometimes saying no to some people, and managing that whole space. It was probably the best answer. And that's something that lots of people do on a day-to-day basis. Having to manage their family takes a lot of leadership. I know even in Tanzania, more so than in the UK, managing the family. Okay, so don't worry so much about it being this big grand thing, but focus on what you did and how you did it. And that's where it took the best marks and the best results in the answers. On the question about, I've applied a few times before, should I keep applying? On average, this is an average across the whole piece, it normally takes about people like 3 attempts. So I think in Sammy and Carol's group, about half were on their first attempt. Actually, the majority of them had it bid 3 or 4 times before they had been successful. This is an opportunity for a lifetime. If you don't get it this year, try next year or the year after. It's still going to be an opportunity of a lifetime, even in 5 to 10 years' time. Okay? It's quite easy to be a little bit downbeat. But if you are applying and you're not getting through to the final stages, or you're getting interviewed, think about your application, share it with these guys. Share it with people who've been successful, and try and get some feedback, and seek feedback. Quite often we're a little bit scared to put ourselves out there in case somebody says, Mark, this isn't very good. And because when you get into your careers, and once you start developing into more senior management, I can assure you, people will tell you when your work's not good enough. So get into that routine now of sharing work and seeking critical feedback. Okay, your mum is not going to give you critical feedback, but some of your friends and some of your colleagues are more likely to be a bit more honest with you. Sarah?
Thank you very much for that. So Leona, so you maybe when you want a primary school monitor, you have a situation, you have a task action, you share the results. Remember I told you how to be specific and you have about anecdote. I think that would be very helpful for you. Yeah, so don't be this guy 5 times, try one more time. So, kuna mwingine ana swali?
Salamu sana
Networking, eh?
nakaa niko labda najua kitu na watu vizuri kama profesa ile connection singo kwenye kujibu sasa nataka kujua how tunaweza put in good way au ni sample ipi ya kuelezea kwenye Chevening ndio kama kweli nikapata swali kitu sahihi.
Yeah, I think that still applies to that. Kwa sababu unaelezea namna ambavyo okay, so kuna scenarios tofauti, inategemea sasa na wewe networking yako iko vipi. Kwa mfano kama mtu kama mimi mwandishi wa habari, networking yangu mimi ni tofauti na mtu mwingine, labda mtu anayefanya kazi nyingine. Kwa mfano nilipofika hapa, I think nilisema nilikuja kukusanyia moja kwa moja. Umeelewa? Kwa sababu yeah, of course ni vizuri kufahamu mtu unafanya kwa mbona. Kwa hiyo mimi kama mshauri nimeshatengeneza ile kwamba naweza kukutana na wewe, unaitwa nani? Anaitwa sana ni BBC. Ninaitwa Rafael, labda mimi natokea labda nafanya kazi kwenye hospitali. Of course then nikiwa na health stories
takuja kwako na tafanyaje, najua napata story kupitia kwako. So inategemea na mazingira ambayo wewe mwenye networking yako unafanya, na namna gani ambavyo kwa ujumla una network na watu wanaosimama. So tell that story. Hata unaweza kutoa mfano mmoja, kwa mfano kama Mark alisema mtu anakuwa mfano wa kama mama na namna gani ambavyo ananavigate katika. Kwa sababu ziko namna nyingi ambazo unaweza network na mtu ambazo huwezi kuziweka zote kwenye maneno 500. Unaweza kuchagua labda kama mfano mmoja au miwili ambayo ulitengeneza network na baadaye ikaja ikatokea nini, hii network ilikuja ikasababisha nini, ukashow results kwamba kweli network, kwa sababu sio swala la kukutana tu na mtu, tunakutana na watu karibu kila siku ndivyo, lakini hii network ilikuja kusababisha. Kwa hiyo tena nadhani unaweza kutumia modo kama hiyo hapo, kwa katika mazingira labda kwa kukutana na mtu, kufahamiana kwa namna fulani, endeleza kuwasiliana na baadaye katika sababisha. Sijui kama nilijibu swali lako. So it really depends on labda wewe mwenyewe una eneo lako labda unafanyia kazi au unafanyia biashara, na unakutana vipi na mtu, na hao watu ambao unakutana nao labda wanasababisha kitu gani katika. Kama unaweza kupata mfano mmoja au miwili ambao unaweza kushare kwa jamii, na mimi naweza kusaidia. Sijui kama nimejibu swali lako. So give an example. Tell 1 or 2 examples and then use those kuelezea kitu fulani. Sawa? Yeah, but kama nilivyosema, ukiandika ndani yako, share with us and then tunaweza kusaidiana hapo. Kitu tu ambacho naweza kuahidi kwamba sitakuandikia essay, lakini nitakusaidia ku guide kwamba hapa haiko clear, labda kuelezea zaidi hapa. So mwingine akiandika essay unaweza kujua kabisa kwamba kuna story hapo, lakini tatizo kabisa. Ndio.
When I read the essay, another one, why have you chosen this university, and how is it related to your future plans? So what do they want in the question? How do you go about it?
I'm not sure, I don't know what they want from this.
Like I think,
kwa mfano kama mimi nitasema haraka. Kwa mfano kama nilivyosema mwanzo, si kama nilikuwa kama mwanzo nikasema. Vitu kama vile kwa nini nilichagua SOAS? Nilichagua SOAS kwa mfano kwa sababu nafahamu kuna, and this is through research, nafahamu kuna lecturers wengi ambao, and this is what I say in my application, about lecturers wengi ambao labda wamefanya research nyingi kutoka Africa. Kwa hiyo wana hata labda zao au research zao na uwezo wao darasani, kujua kwamba itanisaidia ni kufanyaje hata kwenye course ambayo naomba, kwa sababu mimi public policy lakini pia kufanya kazi. So that's why I chose SOAS. Lakini pia cha pili, kwa mfano chuo kama vile UCL nilichagua kwa sababu mara ya kwanza nilijaribu Oxford Cambridge nikakosa. Lakini UCL ni moja kati ya vyuo ambavyo kwanza nilitaka kuwa London. UCL ni moja kati ya vyuo ambavyo nafahamu kwamba vinafahamika kuwa ni vizuri na uwezo wake masuala ya research na nini, kama kuna departments pale ambazo zinafanya kazi za Africa kama hope kama nilikuwa pale naweza kusema. So this is the importance of research. Kwamba unapotaka kwenda kwenye chuo, kwa sababu kuna vyuo vingine, kwa mfano kama engineering, unataka kusoma engineering, UCL is one of the best colleges. Wanafahamika katika research, so they have the best professors. So that's the importance of vitu ambavyo. So say kwenye hiyo ndani yako, why did you choose this? Kwa sababu hata sio swala la UCL, sio swala la application. It's also up to you. Why do you want to go to study at SOAS? Why not UCL? Why not Oxford? Yes. Why not, London School? So it's not even just up to a scholarship. It's also up to you. Why do you want to go to University of Westminster? I don't know.
So I think one of the reasons why that question is there is it gives us a little bit of an assessment of how much have you actually thought about why you're doing this course and why you're choosing this university. Are you just, I like the idea of going to the UK for a year, so I'm just going to put 3 courses. That sounds a lot of fun. And you can tell the people that have thought about their courses, because I think Samuel Cowell said earlier, there's lots of universities that are very specialist in individual subjects.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're doing oil and gas law, I would expect you to be applying to the University of Aberdeen. It's one of the best universities in the world for oil and gas law. It's a very specialist subject. Okay? If you want to study international development, okay, there are some universities that are extremely good at international development, or mass communications, or business, so on and so on. Okay, so I think it tells us how much we've thought about it.
Nitakupa mfano kwa mfano kama kwenye hizi fomu ambazo niliwauliza watu. I said for instance 3 courses ambazo we'd like to study. Mtu anasema extension officer. That's one of the courses they want to study. I'm not sure kama kuna course inaonyesha extension. I'm not sure, but you can tell just from the well, I mentioned 3 potential master's degrees that you want to study. So vitu kama hivi hapa, universities zingine so you can tell whether this person hasn't researched it.
But also, like you're listing the 3, you need to also be very careful. The first choice, the second choice, and the third choice. Some kama hazindani is another issue. They realize from this person, they really don't know, they don't have a sense of direction, you know. So my first course was global development in Africa. Second one was development, I think international development. Third one was development and gender. Kwa hiyo zote tatu zilikuwa mtu anaangalia naona kabisa kwamba kuna correlation plan, as opposed to labda kwa mfano ningeandika global development after me my first degree is in media, my second degree is in political science, third degree is in conflict resolution and peace studies, after nakuja naandika oil and gas. Wakati huko tayari nimesha submit transcripts zangu zinasema kitu kingine kabisa. Umeona? So it's something that you unaweza ukiignore, lakini it really does matter.
Kwa mfano pia I think inahusiana pia na swali ambalo why do you want to go to study masters? Ndio kwamba ukirudi yule assessor anaweza kujua kwamba this person wants to start this because they're visually people. Au wanapokwenda hii course itamsaidia kufika kule anapokwenda. That makes sense. I studied mass communications. I'm doing journalism. I want to study public policy because in future, if I'm done with journalism 10, 15 years, I want to work in policy areas, research or I will have to say that. So I'm preparing now for what's happening. Lakini hata leo nikutana na story mbalimbali, I can think of it from the policy background. So I'm not just addressing these stories just as stories or events. I can think about policy angle when you use story. So you can tell from one another. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Sorry, Sammy, I need to choose you because otherwise we won't stay. So there's a Q&A session after, but we need to move because also how we can have to go. Yeah? Thank you. You have to go now.
I have to go now.
Just in case you need more or to consult with Sammy, I will make sure about this.
So, all the best.
Okay, so mimi nilikuwa nataka tuongelee kitu kwanza, naweza nikasema kutafuta experience ya watu ambao ninawafahamu ambao tulianza nao application hapo kupata. The first reason was IELTS Kiingereza, IELTS, ambao I was sharing the country earlier kwamba when I walked into the British country, kwanza mtani laki tano, ndio mradi wa ambao umeshafanya. So which means kwamba if you fail, you have to pay another 500,000. Yeah. So we paid, we walked into the room together, tukafanya mtihani pamoja, tukatoka tukacheka sasa. Hiyo mtihani ulikuwa rahisi sana lakini ngumu. Na ni kweli mtihani najua ulitoka kwa sababu hapa kazi. Sasa amekuwa shortlisted Chevening, lakini huku mtihani wa Kiingereza hajapata zile marks zao. So it was a problem akakosa. But fortunately akajaribu tena mwaka huu amepata 5. So first thing you need to consider is please do not underestimate that English test. I don't know if it's for all, but I know for a fact that it is standard procedure. You have to have your chit-chat. Na lazima uwe pass. Na kama hajaanza mapema sijui leo tarehe 28 ndio deadline ya application tarehe 5. Kama bado hujafanya sijui unafanyaje, I don't know. But I think it's one of the conditions kwa sababu hata kama ukiwa shortlisted unaweza kuendelea kufanya kwa sababu kwamba nitafanya labda by I don't know by March or April. next year after being shortlisted labda. Kwa sababu wengine wanasema kwamba why should I invest maybe 500,000 wakati sina uhakika wako shortlisted. Kwa hiyo wanasubiri mpaka wakawa shortlisted. Lakini the other disadvantage of waiting is that if you fail, na ule muda wa kufanya tena umepita, ina maana umepokea umeshafika. So the earlier you start, the better. The second thing is references. The references that are attached to that. So my reference, I remember I was struggling with it, and at that time Henry was my mentor, and he was still based in the UK, but he's into Kuboko and the lead education field for 11 years. So I knew that, okay, one of the things that they look for is references, and a communicate your reference, and how do you know this person, and how did you interact? Pamoja alikufundisha alifanya nini. Kitu ambacho nimegundua ni kwamba the two best people to give you references is either a professor at university or somebody who directly supervises you at work. Kwa sababu hao ndio wanaweza waka-attest to your strength and weaknesses as a person, as a personality, kama ni academics, kama ni kazi, performance, yeah. So I in my experience, na watu ambao nimeongea nao wengi tulikuwa tumetumia professor wa chuo au not professor, lecturer, yani academician mmoja ambaye unajua kitu kama labda huyu alikuwa ni head of department, alikuwa ni lecturer or something. A mentor, but not just a mentor who is yani ana profile yake na yeye hata pale chini akisay, you know, regards to you na kidogo kinaeleweka. Third thing is, so networking. I would like to come back to that question because as I talk about networking before, you know, my goal was also the networking that I can achieve through the Chevening alumni. So for example, University of Leeds. It wasn't my first choice. My first choice was actually LSE, and then SOAS, and then University of Leeds. Wengi watu wakanitosa, huyu mmoja wakanikubali. Lakini walivyonikubali sasa, from my research, I got to learn that, first of all, a lot of people were practitioners on it. So a lot of people were USAID, DFIS, wengi wamepitia huko. But also, my point was, how do I get an entry point into this network? So first of all, if you're a Leeds alumni, you get an entry point to the rest of the network. But then, to me, the most valuable experience was going to be how I was going to merge my own experience in Africa, because my course is global development in Africa. Now, again, I'm on global development in education, global development in gender, global development in Latin America, global development in Europe. Imagine meeting these people from different, global development, how much do you think we're able to share in terms of sustainable interventions when it comes to development programs, success stories when it comes to policies? A lot. So to me, I was thinking it wasn't even about the network that I already had. Although actually I think in Tumia, Yali, because I had applied for Yali in 2016, so I'm a Mandela Washington Fellow. But from that Mandela Washington Fellowship, I got a network of 25 people from 25 different countries. So to me, that is a network that I'm going to come in front of work. Okay, so yes, I went to this program. I studied business and entrepreneurship, but my most valuable experience was the network that I benefited from the rest of the people, because now I can pick up the phone or send an email to my fellow in Ghana and tell them I'm doing this project, the Launchpad, we're doing skills development. I know you're in the same area. What has worked for you? So something like that could be of value. Now, as well as in my industry, and just anything, exclusively enough to end up in so many conferences and workshops. I'm sure most of you have done that as well, So that's something that you can also think about what network you had, how you benefited from it, but then you going to Yali and exposing yourself to that network. How are you going to benefit from that exactly? Okay. What else was I going to talk about? So there's 3 things, and then when it comes to in semi spoke about everything. It's taking everything, but yeah. So those are the 2 things for 3 that I wanted to stress on. And leadership, you gave an example. You work at National Housing. What capacity? unafanya kama nani?
Civil engineer.
Civil engineer, how many projects have you ever seen? Then why don't you use that as an example? Why go back and buy? Probably that impact is no longer relevant, you know? So through your civil engineering, through the National Housing Corporation, how many projects have you led that have resulted into maybe proper housing or affordable housing? Through your leadership skills, you were able to initiate a budget or a module ambayo inasaidia Tanzania. You get the gist, yeah? No. I'm not taking word by word, right? You have to use your own words. You have to use your own words. So think of something, leadership is not what what's reading. Leadership is what initiative have you taken as a person through whatever we're doing. Ukaongoza kama ni wenzako, you know, hata yule aliyekuja wa kwanza hapa kuchukua chakula. He was a leader, or she was a leader. They showed initiative. They came through. So try to reflect, but also try to think of if it were you, and when the application, what would you like to be? You know? He has changed lives as a teacher, student, versus you as a class monitor.
Oh, the rules.
Yeah, I mean, find a way. You know, too. You know, for example, from the inspiration that I got as a class monitor when I was it motivated me to take initiative as a leader in the department I'm leading. You get what I'm saying? And I'm only starting point, like, don't benchmark it. You know, don't. It's about your work.
I think that's, if you don't mind, the issue here isn't so much as Mark articulates. This staffing is very, very important. It's not about this and that. Even with CNC, it's not about the civil engineering. You've got to think about what challenges you have to overcome. What did you do to overcome, and what was the impact of the results? That staffing is basically the bread and butter of any literary work that you do. What else becomes just a narrative that can be very long-winded, especially when you have time limits in terms of not working in front and also in time. So you have to always think about. So my journey into leadership began at a very young age as a class monitor. And over time, I have. So that is just one sentence where you've touched on the monitoring, and then you're very quickly moving the narrative into what you have done that has had a significant impact. And that issue of challenge, because it cannot be you narrating the job that you do. You know, it cannot be I'm a doctor, so I treat patients. But it can be a doctor, a surgeon who's allowed to do an operation which is very complex, and then there's power cut. And again, everyone with Nokia torches, putting their torches on to do it. It's not, that is more interesting than simply saying, well, I wake up every day at 7 o'clock, and then, you know, I have to shuffle around in a Bajaj, and I get to where I get, and then I do the job and come back. But if you start to bring, narrowing down into challenges and how you walk out for obstacles, it comes about. But I take your point. I think you are right in English is a second language. There is a barrier there that you have to overcome. I take that on board because, if that was in Swahili, but maybe that's what you might need to do. Maybe you might need to write it in Swahili because you probably are thinking in Swahili, and then you're gonna get that to be translated. I wouldn't hesitate from doing that because, unfortunately, I don't finish Swahili anymore. I was talking to someone the other day, and I wish I could. But that could be the problem, that you have a very good point that you want to make. But when it comes to articulating it in a language that's not yours, it becomes difficult. But that's where you seek help and support. Mentors, Carol, and they automatically become ostensibly your mentors because they're here to mentor that. I didn't go to Chevening, but I'm picking up a lot of good ideas from them. So yeah, don't hesitate.
Now let's go back to the question of why you. And I want you to reflect on this because this is something that I used to tell. We used to remind each other because this has a 20 forward. My university tuition fee is £18,000, was £18,000. My stipend per month was £1,077. I got a ticket to and from the UK. Okay? And then there's also medical with the NHS system. So all this is an investment on you. It's a lot of money. It's like 1,000 per month times 12. It's a lot of money. Bigger money cash. So why you? Why you? Why do you deserve to go? You really need to think about that and how. Another thing is we always forget you're going, but then when you come back, how do you think this Chevening scholarship will contribute to you perhaps transforming Tanzania for the better? Kupitia kazi hizo, afu msiodanganye mseme ndio nitaandika foundation students NGO. Tuwe walisia. Not everyone can open an NGO. Not everyone can run an NGO. Can you perhaps say what you can do after the Chevening scholarship? Kwenye capacity hiyo ambayo unaona, so for example, civil engineering, anaenda anasoma na nikirudi nitaboresha labda. From what I've seen and the way my organization has been operating, I feel that from the Chevening scholarship and the education and exposure that I will get, I can contribute or I can add on to A, B, C, and D. Go beyond. It's very funny because even in the interview they asked me, I was like, listen, I love British history. I love British. The architecture, the old buildings, I love them. And I didn't lie about it. I said, listen, yes, the education system is great. I love it. It's the quality, but I also want to go to the UK because I'm interested. And medieval times, Queen Victoria Street, they love it. They love their history. Okay? So play on that somehow, some way. Why do you want to go to the UK? Did you know UK, was that, what do you call it, Henry, is it Russell?
The Russell Group.
Yeah, the Russell Group. Yeah, top 25 universities in the UK. So, as Mark said before, please do your research. That website is there. Instead of kumtumia karo DM kila saa, go to the website, read the success stories as well in there. Kuna videos, right? Yeah, even videos. Even the universities that you're choosing. Ukiangalia kwenye alumni, I studied MA, Strategic Global Development in Africa. This is what I learned. This is what I think could have improved, but this is what I'm taking away with me. You can get so much. We don't like reading, unfortunately. It's something that we need to change through universities, really, but yeah. So I was going to talk about, so we have two things left on the item. Academic life, if you do get chosen. Academic life in the UK, and life as a foreigner in the UK. So fortunately, Henry is an education specialist in the UK. He can speak about this, but I want to give you my own example because I'm a journalist by profession. My first profession is a journalist. So I still write. For those who follow me, that they know I still write my articles. Either you want me to write a journal for you, I'll do that. However, when I got to the University of Leeds, I struggled with academic writing. I really struggled because our writing in our universities is totally different. So one other thing that I would suggest is try to read, go to academia, yeah, go to these websites. Try to familiarize yourself with their style of academic writing. Allow me to reassure you, equal to 40 habits. Number to Tanzania is totally different. So at first it will hit you hard. When I find an essay in Arudi, you get a 50, you get a 30, you get a 40. And it's not like it didn't, well, like someone, you get the number 8, but totally different. So academic life is also a bit different in the UK. They like reading. Since we got to know, like you have to read at least 15 articles or 15 journals per day, per session. You go to the seminar, you have these things in the back of your head. Now, so they take education on a whole different level with this. Academic life and life.
Yeah, we'll do a blend, won't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I'll try and mix the language as well a little bit. What the thing is this. I left here, I think that was probably about 26 years ago. I was only 18. It was a very different, sort of trek compared to yours. You guys are going over there to do a master. You're trying to be the masters of what it is that you're passionate about. I went in as an undergraduate, so it's a very, very different movement. You're going in when the UK of 2019 despite all the noise that comes through with Brexit, it's still a very, very different country to the one I went through. So I'm very conscious of that. And what I did, I've split my, it's not a presentation, it's just a conversation, if you will, into 6 different areas. And I really didn't want it to be, I'll bring the academic bits in between this, but for the most part, I want to focus on the very basics of that trek from here to England. Now, first and foremost, how many of you have been to England? Not to study, but just being as a visit, shopping, holiday, you've been, okay? And how long did you stay? 2 weeks, and where was that, London? Okay, did you go anywhere else aside from London in those 2 weeks? So you went to London, did your shopping, did the London thing, and go back. How long ago was that?
July.
Oh, so you've just been, okay. So everyone else hasn't been. So you've been as well, okay? You work for the, yeah, right, okay. So if we're all the Chevening aspirants, aside from one person, no one else has been. Right, I had to ask the question because what I don't want to do is if everyone who's out went up, okay, then I've been, then maybe this would have been a much shorter. But I'll still try and narrow it down to about 15 minutes tops. Okay, so there's 6 areas. You've got to remember that even with the number of years I've spent in England, I still learn something new again. So there's no mean that. No amount of questioning, no amount of such, seminars will ever prepare you for what you're going to experience. You've got to accept that this is going to be the learning program. It's a bit like going to another town outside Dar es Salaam. If you're born and raised in Dar es Salaam, you go to another, there's going to be cultural shocks, there's going to be set things that you can prepare for, there's going to be a bit of TV that you've watched about England that might not be the case, and that is the same of it anywhere else. So be open-minded, that'll be my advice. Don't take my word for it. Don't assume just, or our words for it. You will experience some things that you weren't prepared for. And that's life, and that's how you treat race, okay? Now, I wanted to go for very, very trivial things, very mundane, very basic things. But people actually get to the other side and they think, oh, why didn't I think of that? And the number one thing is, when this is all gone through, you've been accepted, you know where you're going, you know your dates, there's going to be something about packing your bags. Because you have to pack your bags and there you go. And this might be very simple, but believe you me, this can be very, very complicated. And I'm sure Carol, if she was to tell you, the number of times you packed it and packing, should I not? And even then, and I was right there, even if maybe not that, or that's silly, don't take that. But by the time we got to the other end, I was here because I went around with this launch bag thing and I was going in and out. I had to carry another suitcase for Carol and then take some things back. So that's an example. Whatever I say now will still not help. You're going to have to find things out. But please think of it this way. Think about the weather in England. What do you think it's like? Do you think it's snowing all the time and cold? Do you think it's windy? Do you think it's sunny? What do you think? Cold all the time. Is it just cold every time? So you make sure you have it, it's just a freezing place. So it's winter time. Right, so the answer is it's not true. It's not true at all. It does get cold, but you know what? Try and go to England. I was in Portsmouth in England, and I only wore jackets a few times. It all depends on where you are. You go up north, it gets really cold. Yeah. But it also can get very, very warm. So it's a mixed bag. Now there are, sort of the stereotypical English weather, phrase that gets thrown around, and people pack all these huge, sort of Siberian type of jackets and big, huge snow boots, only to find out they're going to come back on sea snow. So don't be fooled into thinking it's going to be cold all the time. It will get cold, but there are cold months, they're kind of like cool months, there are hot months, and you will experience all of it. So my answer to you is it's all of the above. You're going to start in October. It starts in October, doesn't it? So you'll be kind of like nowish. It's not yet super cold. Yeah, it's colder than Dar es Salaam, but it's nowhere near, it's probably Arusha type of weather. And it gradually changes as you go through the months. So think about that when you're packing. I would say my advice is pack light. Why am I saying that? Because you get to the other end and you want to do a bit of shopping. I'm not talking about this time, it looks like £1,000, but it will go, okay? But if you start to save a bit and you want to get a few things to buy on the way back, there's a luggage allowance. What happens if you loaded your suitcase with all the stuff that you have from here, all your belongings, your whole cupboard is in a suitcase, now you haven't got space. And you have this dilemma of whether you're gonna leave your stuff in England or you're not gonna buy anything. So think about how you start to pay expensive ammo freight, you know, to get things across, something to think about. So that's your bag. The other thing I want to talk about is the actual travel. That's an experience. Depending on where you're going, you're all gonna go with different airlines. And there isn't one that goes directly to the thing. It used to be British Airways, used to be the only one that would take you from Dar es Salaam straight to London. They stopped years ago, so they don't do it anymore. So chances are you will stop somewhere else for a few hours, and then you proceed into England. So prepare for that, because that can be shocking. You know, you go with KLM, you stop in Amsterdam, it could be a few hours. Some of these is Emirates, and then you're in Dubai, it's overnight, etc., etc. Zurich, if you're going in with Swiss Air. But that is something to plan. Kenya Airways could be in Nairobi, and then off you go. But it's about planning for that, because it can be daunting, because there's a lot to take in. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is telling you the very basic. And it's annoying, because you might be sitting there thinking, I can't believe he's telling me about flights. But that is all to just ease the load, which will start to pile up. Accommodation, the third one. Okay, plan for that.
Oh my God.
And it's not easy. That is absolutely. All this money, there's going to be advanced stipend given to you, so you don't want to be, Chevening will get you sorted, but it's not easy in England to sort this thing out. Okay, there's guarantors, there's deposits, there's identifying the type of accommodation you're going to have. Are you going to stay at the university dwellings, which is like the hostels? Are you going to have a private accommodation? When you get to private accommodation, what type of accommodation will it be? Is it going to be a rented house? Is it going to be a flat? There's different types. It's a bit different from here. Where, I'm in a flat, I'm in a house, and it's different type, different prices. And most importantly, how far is it from your campus, from your university? Don't assume it's a bit like here. Some of these universities are massive, and they have different campuses. So don't assume it's like only money. I'm gonna get myself near Sinza, I'm gonna get into Wenge, and then straight away I'm near the university. It's not. It could be a campus that's so far away. It's the distance of here to the town or the airport or beyond. Okay? It's about researching where's my campus. It's not about where's the university of Cambridge or Leeds or Nottingham. It's about where exactly is my school. So university, then you have schools within university and buildings within these schools. And it's something to really, I would say, take a lot of time about. Because it will wipe your stipend and leave you nothing at all if you're not careful. And this is the bit that you have to also refrain from. There's a lot of people who give you this. I know what I mean, of that. Guys, the money that you're going to save will not be enough to have the capital to start a business when you come back to Tanzania. Don't have that mentality. Okay? I'm not giving you 1,077 for you to say, you know what, I'm only going to spend the 77. I'll give you 1,000, that's 3 million. But that's, 12.
At least £600 goes into the housing anyway.
If not more.
If not more. At least £600 goes into accommodation.
So that money will go. It will disappear. And rightfully so, because they didn't give that to you to start saving for an investment of the future. Okay? They invest in your education, invest in your ideas, and you're not coming in and you're not use the education to sort yourself out. So don't go in there with the mentality of people. Miss Daddy, that's what you're asking. Yeah. Let's see if you last now. So please don't have that mentality. I'm not saying spend the money stupidly, use it sparingly, careful, save a bit so you can buy yourself a nice pair of shoes. But don't figure out, this, people start to convert money. I'm not doing that. That's 15,000. Oh, no, in Tanzania, I was actually tonight. If you have that, you'll get yourself stressed out. You will stress, and you need to eat right because it will get cold. And you're away from home. There'll be lonely days, but there'll be times when you feel like, why did I do this? I'm going back home. This will happen, and it's normal, and you get over it all the time. But use that money to make sure that you're looking after yourself. That's why they're giving you that much. They're not stupid. It's not like they can't calculate it. If they thought £200 would be enough, you would have been given 205. Right? But dealing with that, use it. And that goes hand in hand with the, like I said, this accommodation thing, please take time. I would recommend for most of you, I would recommend to be as close as possible to this dormitory around the university. They're usually shared. You might find yourself sharing the bathrooms, sharing the kitchen, but for the most part, you have your own bedroom. But at times you may be like in a dorm sort of situation where you share. But again, you've all been through it. For those who went to boarding schools, it's nothing different from that. It's much easier and much more convenient for you. And in terms of settling in, you have people with you who are coming from the same background as you. That's not to be saying, but it really is. Now, if you make that choice and decision, I'm going to live in a townhouse or one of these expensive flats where it's £1,000 and you have to put so much money in guarantors, you get stuck. And if you think application is hard to find an accommodation or landing there without an accommodation sorted, you might not go through it in pressure. You might find yourself heading back because they won't let you in when they're not clear where you're going to stay. So it's something to really invest in time.
Please tell them about the contract as well, getting out of a contract.
Yeah, this is another thing. When you start getting these external contracts, a bit like what you call here landlords, isn't it? But there's agencies. But it's not dalali. The difference. If you have a dalali here, finds your house, you don't like it, you're out. With agents, once you sign, you're in. The only way you will come out is if you can find a person who will take your place. So you can't go in and say, I didn't like it last night, I was trying to sleep, the next door someone was noisy. They'll try and sort it, or water wasn't hot enough, they'll come and sort it, the bedroom was cold, they'll come and sort it. But it cannot be, I don't like it, or a friend of mine, or someone I've met in university is living in a better accommodation than mine, so I want to leave this. Can you give me my money back? And I'm on my way to go in and join my family. You can't do it. Okay, it will be extraordinary application, and after you've done it, you have to be, and that's if they say yes to it, you have to find a person so that contract will be honored. And as you well know, you're there for 12 months, so most of the contracts will be 12 months. Or you pay the full amount, and then off you can find another place. So think about it wisely before you go in. And this is tricky because you're here, you're trying to get accommodation in England, so you haven't seen the place. For the most part, it's emails, pictures, videos if you're lucky, but it's not the same as landing there and going in. And I got a bit of a shock when she arrived. There are some people are going in, the doors won't shut. But it's been cold, and I remember Carol clearly, the first day was, how do I switch the heating? It's freezing. And I'm saying, okay, there's got to be a panel. And I remember video call. I'm saying, right, take the camera and panel. I'll identify, there's got to be a panel. Go into the kitchen in the back. The Carol is going in, there's nothing there. There's supposed to be a cupboard under the stairs. Carol is waiting.
I call agency, shuffle office. So you can't call the agency. You can't so come up with another neighbor next door. Go. Nobody says no.
So something to think about. Your money's dormitories, if you go into university, usually they are what they are. And they're not perfect. But to be honest, you're not there to be in a hotel accommodation. You're there to be a comfortable place where you're warm, you have water, you have a bed, you have all these kitchen utensils and stuff like that to get you going. But it's not going to be, it doesn't have to be fancy. There's a lot of misconception. People think that's not what I see on Instagram, that's not what I saw. When I watch that TV, and it's like, is this it? Yeah, that is it. And yes, it does cost 600. 2 million in Tanzania would be in Masaki. Yeah, you're in England. Sorry. Yeah. So, prepare that. Can I talk about food? What do you think the national food in England is? I'll give you 3 choices. Chipsi kuku, pizza, or tikka masala. What do you think is the food that is eaten mostly in England? Pizza, chips, chicken and chips, or tikka masala, Indian curry?
Pizza.
Oh, wrong.
Pizza?
Only chips and fish.
Chips and fish and chips. I didn't put that in because
They don't
that's next with
They say fish and chips.
fish and chips.
fish and chips. Not chips and cook.
No.
Not chicken and chips. I didn't put fish and chips in the option. Deliberately. Okay? So the answer is, if you went in, the popular one, and it shocks everyone, is tikka masala. Right? But that doesn't mean everyone in there is on to the tikka masala. And fish and chips is one of those ways. It's more of a Friday treat. Most people go in for fish for a chippy, as they say. But the fact is, all of them are, and more, okay? I've had plenty of Carol specials, when I went to his days, where she made food that you think she's in Tanzania. Okay, and I ate everything that you want, we had chicha, matebele, sato, shikugali, we had everything, right there in England. Now, does it mean all of you are going to get an opportunity to do that? Unlikely, okay? The point I'm making is, don't get yourself into this, taplanini, and start carrying bags and bags of Muccello and bears you, okay? Because why would you? I saw one person say they went to July. You all have meat with them. Why would you want to carry here the chicha, isambu, dada? Anyone through the airport, because they've got a very strict, customs regulation around what you import into the country, rightfully so. Okay, so trying to get there through with nyama choma, and Gary's right here with the team, you won't get through. Trying to get samaki in there, seeds, and again, read about this. This is all in there, what customs in England is very clear about. And this is very much, the case in most Western European countries in the United States. They have restrictions. It's nothing to do with, they're not nasty. I'm not saying they don't like your food. It's all to do with making sure that there aren't any foreign sort of bacteria that get into land and affect agriculture, and these mostly to do with that. So my advice to you is go and experiment with different food types. Okay? Go in and what they have, as they say, when you're in Rome, do as Romans. Go in there and see what the locals do. Okay? The food might appear, I'll warn you off to it now, that it might appear a bit bland because we like our spices, right? So you might start I want a bit of, Zari and all that. It's simple. And if you want to go in and you get to a combination where you want to cook yourself, you can buy everything I want. They actually have everything I want. And I know I love taking pictures of some foods that I'm making, and people say, "Oh, are you back?" No way, guys, for me. It is there. So worry not about food, it's about finding a place, but also experiment with it. Okay? In terms of, I wanted to talk about this stipend, as Carol said, if £600 is what you've gotten into accommodation, you haven't got much left. And you're going to be going into Sainsbury's, I don't want to mention Sainsbury's, I'll be mentioning it in a different line. You'll be going to different shops to buy. So there are big supermarkets, okay? You won't get Shoppers Plaza there, yeah? You'll get bigger Shoppers Plazas, and they have everything that you want. So the bigger the supermarket, economy of scales, it means you might get things a lot more relatively cheaper than going into a small store, which is convenient and next to you, etc., etc. That's the same as it is here, okay? But the only thing is, think about value for money. VFM, always have value for money in your mind, okay? It's not about buying the cheapest item on the shelf. It's about buying the most cost-effective item on the shelf. Now, for those who hated numbers and mathematics when we were in school, this might sound crazy because you might think that's the same thing. It's not, okay? So let me give you an example. Who likes eggs? Well, you want to eat eggs every morning. Like you are, no, I'm going to add. There's only one person. You're just like me. If it was up to me, I'll just eat eggs every day. But I know you can't, okay? So if you're going to eat, let's say, 2 eggs a day? Okay, but you're going to eat 60 eggs a month. Right, so when you're going in to buy your eggs, buy it in dozens, buy a tray of eggs instead of buying it in 60s, because it's selling 60s, you're going to take 12, there's different types of eggs. But if you're going to buy and you're going to eat a lot of eggs, you might as well buy in bulk. But anything that you're going to eat is a one-off, then you're going to buy in small amounts. Sounds really basic, it is basic, but it will affect your money, how long it goes. You need to plan your shopping carefully so that you have your money going along the way. So if you remember this, it might not mean much to you. When you get across, as I'm sure you all make it, as Mark has said, it's been around for 35 years, so if you keep trying, there's an age limit to it, isn't it? So as long as you keep going and keep going hard, and also you say 4 times, you keep going. Okay, as long as your age allows you, keep going. 4 times for this, it's nothing, keep going. Think about job applications. You might be writing 4 a day and not getting a job. Talk about youth unemployment in multipliers. A lot of people writing 4 goals a day and they're in 2, and they're still not secure. So what is 4 applications for something like this? They're golden opportunity to keep going. Yeah. Okay. So make sure you think about hourly. You go to that, and remember that, very, very cheap. Avoid Tesco's, avoid Sainsbury's. Good quality, expensive. And really, last one, to wrap up, I was just thinking, it's not a bit lonely there, okay? Try and socialize. We talk networking, but actually blend in, you know? Try and speak to the British people, the non-British people. It's very multicultural, depending on where you go. If you go to London, it's pretty much, you know, find a lot more foreigners nowadays. But there you go. Socialize, think about what you want to do, go to the pub. If you're into your beers, you know, just go in and enjoy a real ale. I don't drink beer at all, but I don't go in and socialize in that way. Try different things, try your fish and chips, join the gym. You know, there's a lot of concessionary prices that you get as a student when you have an ID. Get yourself into experience in life. If you have a bit of money left, do some pocket change, or you've taken it on yourself, try and travel. You know, the infrastructure is great. You can go and visit different cities just to kill the monotony and boredom. I'll wrap this up with some miscellaneous stuff that is really, and this can be really dodgy if you're not prepared for it, and especially if you didn't know, if you did geography just to pass an exam, but you didn't think about it. They have, it's not always 12 days of 12 hours of flights and 12 hours of darkness over there. Clocks do change, they've just changed actually this weekend, so it's 3 hours different, they go back, so it starts to get dark earlier, so depending on where you are, 3 in the afternoon, it's dark. So plan your time, it can really confuse your mind, because you have longer days in the summer, but you have shorter days in the winter. So it can't be one of those where I'm in the library, I've come out at 4 o'clock, and it's pitch black outside. You'll see, because they have street lamps. Plan for that. Small little things that we're finding in geography, where you might not take into account. Think about queuing, idiosyncrasies of England. You know, I think the Brits are the ones who queue the most in the world. Or on average, and Mark, you correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but I remember getting to England and I thought, oh my God, you should live there for the rest of your life. You would spend over 11 years just queuing. I think this is something like 1 day a month is spent on queuing. And the average is probably about 20 hours a month. You know, in England, it's about 18 days a year goes into queuing. So don't jump the queue, because, you know, people really frown upon that. There's a lot of queuing, you know, queuing to pay, queuing to get into the bus, queuing to get in. It's a lot of queuing to get food. Everything is queuing, and it's systematic. It will flow, it will move, but you expect it to do it. There are 3 magic words religiously for England. Excuse me and please, thank you. Yeah, absolute standard. And everyone will be there. That politeness is expected of you. Okay? When you pay and give money on there. I'm horrified and mortified at how money comes from here. Like on the phone, and someone gives you that, and then the service money, okay? I have got so used to that people look at you in the eye and say thank you. Because you also say thank you when they happen. So magic is the please, excuse me, pushing around it, and they're really polite like that, okay? But you might think I'm saying it to say, but you can experience that everywhere. And they won't address you when you know your name. It works. And you know what? You be called darling and sweetheart. It's not any suggestion of intimacy. No one wants you. Please don't get overexcited, guys. You know, I'm cool. You know, that's just the language. But it's one of those that people get into really thinking, oh gosh, I'm sure she called me sweetheart. I'm going back when she's coming out. You get yourself arrested, you'll be in trouble. Okay? That's just the language that people do. If people are really interested in you, they'll tell you in words that are different from that. So can they hold you laugh, and they'll hold you up. But that is just the polite way, and that's the language of communication, particularly in business. They do that a lot. So careful with that. And finally, do not assume that everyone speaks the Queen's English. They have regional dialects, okay? And if you're up in the north and you're up and down in the south, the language is still English, but the way words are pronounced can be very, very different. So don't make an assumption that they'll speak like Mark or they'll speak like, you know, it's all different. And something else for you to learn, okay? But if any of you are pushing all the way to Scotland, it gets really, really different. To a point where you might think, is this really English? But learn to listen and you manage that. I want to stop there because I think I've shared enough, but you'll have a good time. I would still highly recommend. 26 years in, I went into only with 3 years. So I want to say about 23 years.
That doesn't mean that you can do the same.
I'm not suggesting you, but what I'm saying is, this is great reason for it, right? Then you pick it off there. If you get a scholarship one, golden opportunity, then well worth your effort and energy to fight for that chance. Good luck. I wish you
So, on the same note, when you finish, you have to come back. Seriously, it's in the contract.
Yeah.
You have to come back and stay in Tanzania for 2 years. Find a cousin, then you can ask for, come on, to scholarship, come up with a scholarship, and you want to do your PhD or a doctor or whatever, then you can do that. But 2 years, you have to come back. If you don't, it's in the contract, they sue you, and you pay all this money back. So,
Very important one.
yeah, so before you go, even the application, when you're submitting it, just think about what comes after. You know, what are you going to do? Put your ducks in a row. Wala ambao wanaondoka lazima wangepata kwa shangwe kweli. Fanye, nishatoboa mimi. Nikioni sirudi hapa zile. Afu unakuta ukirudi kazi. So ni bora ukaweka mambo yako pia vizuri. Kwa kujua kabisa you're going to be away for a whole year. When you come back, what is your plan? Are you going back to the same place? What is your next step? What are you going to do? Etc. etc. Haya, tufunge sasa maswali. Kama kuna maswali. Yes, dear.
My questions will be two. One is on the start and one.
Yeah.
I did hear speaking about materials and education, like materials that in my study, in my course.
Sorry, I'm laughing, but you know, a lot of us went through the same thing. Like, yeah, this is what you have.
So it also includes
Everything, your transport, your food, 3 meals per day, anything that you invent, like you do, expenses, you get a more than eat. I think ambayo wanakupa ya kusafiri is something about 500 and something, like the one that gets 500 pounds or something, yeah. So hii inakuwa yani transition tu kwamba ukifika uweze kununua masufuria, uweze kununua paper hivyo. Or kama base materials, yeah, wengine huwa wana add it to rent money kwa sababu sometimes what we had budgeted for, ukifika kule unakuta kwamba is way more than what you had anticipated. But yeah, if you do go to London, it's different. And I think it's a little bit more. I think it's like 100 something pounds more, something like that. But yeah, so everything you need to. Sisi wengine tulikuwa tu hizo na kweli. Yaani uweze kula asubuhi mchana jioni. Kwa sababu hata kahawa tu yenyewe constant. 256, £2 as a cup of coffee. If you go to Starbucks, it's a whole different thing. Costa ndo kabisa. So you just need to be very careful on how you, because what happened was, even in the group, I remember the University of Leeds children's. People complain, like, starting and get 21st. Proper! Then I'm checking up on your accounts. So 21st, the next money you see is 21st of next month. Survival, I have a problem. Watu walikuwa wanalia, alafu kule sasa tukienda kwa sasa tulikuwa wazunguana kukopeshana. You competition for what? You know? So you need to be careful.
my second question.
Oh, sorry.
My second question is on the return part of the essay. Sorry for taking you back. So, for example, apart from people who have working experience,
Right.
I'm just a fresh graduate and I'm applying for this scholarship. Like how I'm sure it's very hard writing the return back because I don't have any work experience. Yes, I have maybe a leadership experience in youth programs and that, but I haven't got, you know when you're in youth programs,
Right.
you have 1, 2, 3, you have a massive touch of many things, but I need to know writing the return back.
But before we get to that, is it you have to have a working experience minimum of
So you
2 years?
So you need a minimum of 2 years, but you can include voluntary work
Yes.
and stuff like that. But one thing I would say about the 2 years, because we get quite a lot of questions about why do you need 2 years, or I want to go straight away. In our experience, and that's 35 years of doing Chevening scholarships experience, those people that have less than 2 years experience really are not ready to do a master's to take them to next level. They haven't cemented themselves in their jobs enough. And you can really tell when you start going through, I mean, Carol would say, when you start doing essays, and they were asking you for, I don't know, you're doing an essay on development, for example. If you haven't done a few years of work experience in development, your essays aren't going to be as good because you won't see the basic flaws in ideas and concepts. So that's why we asked for 2 years, but they have included it. You can include it as voluntary work as well, as a minimum.
What about coming back? What they're going to do after they come back? Because that's what she's saying, that right now she doesn't have anything concrete.
So on the coming back, it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to name an organisation or name a job. You have to share a reasonably realistic ambition of what you want to be doing. So if you're going and you have limited work experience, you're going to say, I'm going to come back and I'm going to stand for the 2020 election and be Minister of Foreign Affairs. I'm going to look at that and say that's not realistic. But if you're going to say, come back, the field of work I'm in, I know, is in climate change. And there's several climate change organisations, and I want to start off as a project manager for some climate change projects, and I'm going to use that as a springboard to then one day set up my own climate change organisation. So I'm really passionate about urban regeneration. That's a reasonable sort of step that we can see. Actually, that could happen.
So I wanted to get an opinion. It's probably something that you all will have known. IELTS, TOEFL, which one is more recommendable and do they differ in terms of hardship in any way? I mean, I would prefer
I haven't done
just that
TOEFL,
it's
so I
easier.
wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Much easier.
It's much easier because I feel like I'm a bit skeptical. I feel like the American one is a bit farther from what type of English we've been learning all throughout.
I'll tell you this, if you're planning to go to the UK, I would strongly recommend IELTS.
I think it's a big one. It's
Yeah.
No, I think they do allow to.
I think they do allow.
Yeah.
I'll have to check on the website. One from the IELTS exams, we've had a mixture of experiences. So we've had those who take it seriously and do the study. If I tomorrow go to an IELTS exam, I might not pass. That's not because I can't speak English, it's my first language. It's because I haven't taken the time to get my grammar up to speed and remember what the difference between an adverb and an adjective, and I haven't practiced for an exam. And I imagine you're all the same. If you tomorrow had to do a Swahili exam, unless you've actually spent a little bit of time to maybe do a few practice. There's so much materials online now. A few practice papers and take it seriously. Actually, for most people, it's okay. We have had a few people who have passed the Chevening but failed the exams, and broadly, without naming names, they've gone into the exam thinking, "Oh, my English is great, we can work every day." But they haven't actually prepared for the exam, and they've gone in there, and suddenly they're getting into a shock where they're getting given sentences and saying, "What's the adverb in that sentence?" And you're like, "Well, I did this when I was in secondary school, but that was 10 years ago." So I would recommend IELTS. I think there's some others that are applicable. And the other thing I would say about the English exam, it's not just foreign students that have to pass an English exam. As a British student, I had to get a certain level in my English exams in order to apply for university as well. So it's something everyone has to do. And it's good. You do not want to be in a class of 100 people, 50 people, where 40 of them can't speak English well. Because that will ruin your education experience as well. So it's good that there is a minimum standard. Because at the end of the day, you're going to one of the best universities in the world, and you're getting a master's from one of those best universities. You want it to mean something. It needs to be reasonably difficult to accomplish. And that's probably the other thing that, I don't know what it's like in Tanzanian universities, but in UK universities, you can fail. You can end the year with no masters. You have to pass the course. They won't pass you just because you're paying money.
Yeah, listen, guys, I urge you to psychologically prepare yourselves. Seriously. Especially for those involved in social sciences, political studies, because as essay questions, my course was reading exams, we had essay questions and the dissertation, okay? So you have seminars, you have lectures, and then you have an essay question, you have group presentations. So it's all in the writing, and it is your critical thinking, critical analysis, and research. How much you've read, how much you know about the subject, even. I'm not going to be multiple choice school.
And it's evaluative writing.
Yeah.
It's about evaluating, and that's the tricky bit. That's the main difference between the system here and over there. And the American system is also different in that way. They tend to be more, or, sort of closed-ended.
Yeah.
The British system is very open-ended. It's about how well you can critically evaluate a research topic, and that's why, as Mark says, it's actually, I find it a lot more fails in masters, because they want to see writing at the mastery level. And so there are.
One thing I would strongly suggest is get to know your tutor. You normally get introduced to your tutor, I think 2 weeks in or 3 weeks in. So get to know your tutor. Get an appointment. Turn around and go, I don't know my appointment. This is start exploring on the dissertation topic very early, so that you create a conversation and a relationship with your tutor. But by the time you're ready, at least kuna kitu concrete ambacho unacho. Okay, I think that's.
One more there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So kama sasa hivi unapata information data na deadline ya kutuma application imekaribia. Sasa inaweza kuwa ya kupeleka kwa next stage ya kuwa shortlisted na kuwa shortlisted mpaka kwa interview, ama unaweza upload information data baada ya.
You can do that later. You can do that later. But for you to get shortlisted, you need to have an unconditional offer, not even conditional, unconditional offer. Not shortlisted, shortlisted. For you to go through to the next stage, you have to have an unconditional offer. So your conditional offer ambayo utaipokea sasa hivi, what you do ni kwamba kwenye application unawaambia kwamba nimeshapata conditional offer, but they're asking for how will you pay for this, evil. So you tell them kwamba this is my conditional offer pending my successful application or selection. Yeah.
Thanks, and open to working hours.
Yes.
When you can get your experience, come back and calculate.
Yes.
Definitely have quite a list. Working hours are not the night.
First of all, so I would say well, what's a normal working day? Like working hours per day?
8.
Okay. So out of 8, for example, if you're not fully employed, if you're just volunteering, realistically, how many hours can you volunteer from those 8 if you're not fully employed? So just like there's a problem. Well, it's not really a problem, but it doesn't. And anyway, we don't even talk like us, because I'm thinking about 2 to 3 hours. What exactly have you learned? Or what exactly have you been doing? Was it impactful?
Actually,
it's a full employment.
Yeah.
Then you write your 8 hours, boo. You write your 8 hours a day. Full employment, working, clock out. Yeah. Okay. No more questions?
Two very last things from me. One was just to reiterate the point that Carol made earlier about references on your application form. I think there's probably a little bit of cultural difference. I'm not going to be impressed by anybody put as a reference. Your reference is there for us to have a way of evaluating and ensuring that what you're saying to us is true. So I think Carol's point is right. A professor and your supervisor at work is perfect.